We face in the building business and building industry and working in buildings, we face several big challenges. Like I said, as you've probably seen in your organization, you've seen senior members get ready to move on, and they typically have all the information stored in their heads. You know, as they get ready to move on, and the next generation comes in, how do we capture that valuable information that has been accumulated over the last generation? Like, how do we capture it? So I think that's one of the big challenges facing our industry in the coming years and currently. Two, our workplaces have become much more complicated in many ways. There's so much more data coming at us from all these different systems. There's so much choice. You know, typically in organizations, information exists in silos, so it's not easily accessible by everybody who needs it. You know, typically accounting has information, and you have your facilities, they have some information, and a lot of times it's not shared. So how do we organize this and keep track of it all? Also, there's amazing new technology available to us today, from the IoT to smart devices. How do we make the right decisions and find the best way forward to use this new technology to our advantage? We all know that we can use these new tools to be more efficient and smarter. What's the best way forward? We would like to suggest that we need to meet these greater challenges with better tools. So two of the tools we're going to talk about today that can help navigate this brave new world are using digital service records and QR codes. So what these allow us to do is to, for one, help to capture the institution knowledge that is being lost by helping us organize building information. This can exist, like, for instance, service histories or digital service records, like we just mentioned, building as-built, cut sheets, schematics, any information in a building. How do you begin to make that information available in an organized fashion to everybody in the organization that needs it, where and when they need it? What these tools also help us to do is to track work. So by moving away from antiquated systems like paper work orders and using mobile tools like things we use on a daily basis, like cell phones, tablets, to capture data in the field and create these digital service records, this will allow us to work much more efficiently in real time and provide better reporting. And ultimately, it'll help us to more easily measure our performance and make the better decisions ultimately. So what is a digital service record? It's basically a digital log of work that is collected and being done in real time. So with paper systems, service records exist on paper. They usually exist in a file folder somewhere in a box, so it's really challenging for the next person that comes along to access that information, whether they're in an office trying to make a decision about replacing a rooftop unit, or they're in the field trying to see what happened the last time something was done to this given piece of equipment. So what digital service records allow us to do is to make better decisions more quickly. We can dispatch work and complete everything more efficiently. So another tool that we use, and we're going to talk about today, are QR codes. So what is a QR code? The QR codes the technology was invented by the Japanese in the 1980s to track parts on assembly lines. It's excellent technology because it doesn't require any specialized hardware, for instance, like a barcode scanner, to use. All it requires is a common smart device that's internet enabled and has a camera. So today, QR codes are used in a variety of ways. They're used to deliver, I think primarily deliver marketing messages or product information, typically by linking to a website. At BuiltSpace, we use them in a very unique way. So we use them two ways, as a two-way communication tool. So one way is we use them to deliver location-specific information to users like operations staff and service contractors when they're in the field. So say when a tech is in a basement mechanical room, he can scan a code and access the information he needs to make decisions. Typically that information will be in a binder on a shelf in an office somewhere. So it enables people to make quicker decisions, get them information they need to do what they need and when they need to do it. It's also a communication device. So it also enables information that is done in the field to be input into a digital system and create these digital service records we talk about. So the great thing about that is, as the work is being done in the field, the information is collected and can be accessed by anybody who needs it. It's a great tool. What are digital twins? So basically a digital twin is a virtual representation of a building. And what it does is it helps us to organize everything building related into one place, like digital service records, documents, anything building related. Again, like I'll mention the as-built, schematics, drawings. It could be everything building related, but it exists in a digital format in the cloud and can be accessed by everybody who needs it when and where they need it. It also acts as an exchange hub for information across corporate boundaries between owners, operators, and contractors. And what that really means is that you can securely exchange data with the people who are working in and around your buildings, but not worry about them accessing your highly sensitive things like accounting systems. There's been a lot of instances in recent history where there's been service contractors that have had access to an enterprise system. Like I think there was one with Walmart where they had a service contractor that had access to their enterprise system, their CMMS, and through that link, a hacker had got in and stole hundreds of thousands of credit card numbers. With our system, it's almost like a non-denominational area where everybody can exchange information and not worry about data being stolen or sacrificed. Basically, everything went in place. And why mobile? This is very important. Building operators and service technicians need quick access to info when they're in the field, in basement mechanical rooms, on rooftops, and when they're in the building. And mobile, in all its forms, enables the ability to share information by everybody who needs it. It also allows us to transform how buildings are being serviced. And it's really hard to do that if everybody's still working on paper systems. So what mobile does is it enables that transfer of information from the field to the office so everybody can make decisions more efficiently, effectively, and quickly. So at the end of the day, what is the opportunity? I think the opportunity is to, using these new tools, the QR codes, digital inspections, digital twins, is to really get a better handle on organizing information, and that equals better management. So really help to organize the work into digital processes, help everybody gain control of what's going on, and organize and store that institutional knowledge that's being lost today, and be able to deliver that in real time to those who need it. The second opportunity is faster service, so decisions can be made quicker because everybody has access to the information. Tenants are happier because they're getting quicker response to their complaints. Technicians are more efficient. Building owners are spending less because everything's it's faster and things are getting done quicker. And the third opportunity, which everybody likes, is lowering costs. So what it's really doing is helping us to gain control and visibility as to what everybody's doing on site. For building owners, it's really about tracking. Are you really getting what you pay for? And it's really speeding up the time between when techs are entering information in the field and the time that management gets that information. So I think there's a bunch of opportunities, and we just need to move forward and grab those. So how is BuiltSpace different? So we take a very different approach to service management and organizing information around buildings. We create these digital twins that allow people to access the information when they need it, where they need it, securely and safely. Our system's not accounting-based, so typically with most other CMS-like systems, when you need to look up a service history, you need to pick up you have to search for an accounting code. So instead of having to look for work order number 4378, all you need to do is look at the digital twin, look at the thing, either the space or the asset, and see the information. Number two, I think the direction we chose when designing the system was we really wanted to make it easy to use for everybody. So not only for the guys in the office, but the guys in the field. We give the guys in the field the tools they need to do what they do when they're doing their jobs, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do that. So we're really trying to control costs by by modernizing how these services are delivered and when they're delivered and what is done. And then we can also provide excellent reporting on demand. So in real time, you can measure the performance of everything going on in your building. I think that those things make us quite different. So that's the end of our PowerPoint presentation. What I'm going to do now is just show you a short webinar. I'm going to go through a couple different processes. So what I'm first going to do is going to show you how we organize information. So like I said, what we do is we organize all building-related information into these digital twins. So it's very easy to search for information. This is a basic portfolio view. With a few clicks of the button, we can go from a 10,000-foot view at the portfolio level down to an individual building. We can see all the information about that building. So you can see the running service history for that building, history of all inspections, work orders, etc. You can see any suppliers that are working in and around that building, any tenants, so occupants, people that are leasing space. It could be just about anything. Spaces for us, it's an organizational construct. Assets are, the fixed assets or equipment in buildings that you're looking to track. And so what we do is like I said, we set up each building with its own digital twin, but we also do that for each piece of equipment. So each piece of equipment gets its own data collection side as well. And within that, you see your spaces, where the piece of equipment is located, any components, so it has smaller parts that you need to track, like compressors or motors. Parts would be belts and filters, energy meters, and then you have your service records. So it's just a few clicks of the button, you can go from really big down to really small and get the information you need. So we also, like I was saying before, so this is from in the office and in front of a desktop computer, but in the field, we use QR codes. And what we do with QR codes is, like I said, it delivers location-specific information to people in the field where and when they need it. So common use case scenario, you have a technician in the field, they're going about their job, they've been called to a building to do, basically probably for, in this case it's an HVAC technician, for a comfort complaint. They need to be able to access the information they need. All the technician needs to do is to simply scan that code on that thing, in this case it's an air handling unit, and get all the information he needs about that piece of equipment. I think one of the keys here is you can, they can see the service history. So this is a history of everything that happened to that piece of equipment at their fingertips. They can also see documentation, any type of documentation that would be relevant to that piece of equipment. So things like, they can launch a sales quote, they can see startup and operation documentation, schematics, anything that management thinks is relevant for that technician to have at their fingertips can be made available through our system in real time. So that's how we organize information. What I wanted to go through now is how simple it is to set up a building, a digital twin, and implement an inspection, a digital inspection through a QR code. So sending a digital twin is extremely easy. You just go to your buildings list, click Add Building, enter the basic information, and our system automatically creates this digital twin. So once it's created, we go to that digital twin. And enter the equipment list. Simply by taking the information from an Excel spreadsheet and cutting and pasting it into our system. 3 quick clicks, and that building's set up, all the equipment's added, and you're ready to go. So now, all you need to do when you're in the field is scan the code with our digital app, which I'm going to switch to now. Launch the digital app. Choose the building and scan the code. And then complete the inspection. Simple as that. So if, from the beginning to the end, from creating the digital twin to adding the equipment to launching that inspection app, you're probably looking at 10 to 20 minutes, and then you can start to capture your digital service records. So as the inspection gets completed, you can add photographs, record what you did when you did it, and then submit the inspection. You can instantly see it at the building level. So if you go back online, you go back to your digital twin, you look at that air conditioner that we just inspected, you can actually see that digital service record that was generated in real time and connected to that piece of equipment. So this is that digital service record that was uploaded into the app. It's been recorded, time-stamped, author-stamped. Everybody has access to it. Everybody can make decisions. And I think that is the true power of BuiltSpace. So to finish with, I just wanted to show how easy it is to get started. And just wanted to talk a little bit about our pricing model. So for service contractors, for each level, for service contractors and building owners, we have a freemium level. For small service teams that's only looking to do inspections, we always give you the first 4 users for free, and it's $49 per month. For Service Team Pro, which includes full service management, including dispatch, work orders, digital inspections, data integration support, PM scheduling, dispatching, billing, etc., it's only $69 per month. And for Service Team Pro, where we're integrating with enterprise systems, it's $89 per month. So on the facility operator side, it's even simpler. It's only 1 cent per square foot. For the Smart Standard, you can get a digital building for free, so you can test out with 4 users. The Smart Building Pro gets you a little more service in terms of an inbox, tasks, asset aggregation, customizable forms, PM scheduling, PM inspections, compliance reporting, and asset condition assessments. And then the full Smart portfolio with fully integrated BuiltSpace into your enterprise system is only 2 cents per square foot per year. At this point, I'm going to open up for questions. Again, we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today. Anybody have any questions? All right then. Well, thanks again, everybody, for taking the time to meet with us. If you have any other questions or like to follow up and to get additional information about anything, you can reach out to me directly. I'll make sure everybody gets my email contact. And once again, we thank you for taking the time to meet with us. Have a great day and a great weekend.